Hello everyone, Grizzly Bear Games here, back with some more Hitman 2 gameplay. This time we are in Whittleton Creek to pull off the perfect assassinations. We're going in with a pretty simple loadout this time, just the ICA 19 chrome, lockpick and fibre wire. Okay, so the first target we're going to go for is Janus, who's also going to be the source of our first clue we need to get as well. I really like this map, the atmosphere is great, I like the idea of a quiet suburb where something's not quite right, a few dark and sinister secrets in the basement, that kind of thing. It's also really easy to get about as well because you can just use the roads just to get from one point of the map to the other really easily without having to trespass. Okay, so with this gardener and the police officer we need to trigger the conversation. So that when we escape Janus's house, the police officers moved on. So I shot behind them both onto the street, which gets them to turn around, so we can climb this drain pipe without them seeing us. I get spotted by this camera above the door, but that doesn't matter because I'll be deleting the evidence later anyway. So I'm going to turn on the gramophone and I'm going to drop my pistol just there, ready for when Janus comes in. So Janus has heard the gramophone and now he's going to come and investigate. So in comes Janus, he spots our gun on the floor and he's going to turn around and tell his bodyguard to get rid of it. This is a trick I don't think I've used on one of my videos yet, but it's a really useful one if you want to get rid of bodyguards pretty quickly. It doesn't work on every map. Sometimes the guard will call for another guard to come and get rid of it, but Whittleton Creek is one of the maps where the personal bodyguard will get rid of the gun for the target. Okay. So now Janus goes to the gramophone and he'll turn it off, and then he'll relive the memory and he'll start talking to himself. This takes me back. 47's looking extra cool and sinister here in his phantom suit. We'll also do a nice 360 shot of the events happening. Once Janus has done talking to himself, that's the first clue we've got. So that's why we're not killing him right away, we just listen until all the full dialogue finishes. So once the dialogue's finished, we're just going to garrote him and we're going to hide him in this wardrobe here. On the way out, one of the guards nearly sees us heading into the bathroom, but it's okay because we can escape before he comes and investigates. We can head down the drain pipe, and the police officer has now moved on as well, so he won't see us on the drain pipe. Now we need to head towards the second clue and also the camera terminal so we can delete the evidence. I'm going to hop down here and pick the lock into the basement door. There's only one guard down here, he patrols around a little bit, so we're just going to wait for him to turn around again. So once he turns around, we're going to delete the evidence to get our silent assassin rating back again. And we're going to follow him to the other end of the basement. This guard's pretty oblivious, he doesn't hear us, you know, crouch sprinting around with our loud shoes on the concrete floor. And as he turns around, we're just going to pick up the photograph. You can pick up the photograph whilst he's stood there, but it just looks a bit weird, I think. I don't know how he doesn't see you. Now we're going to head out the basement and head back out onto the street. Just need to wait for this guard to move along before we hop over the fence. Once he's gone over, hop over the fence and we can make our escape. But before we head to Nolan Cassidy, we have forgotten something. The guard that took our pistol, we're going to be needing that, so we're going to break into the garage to get our gun back. his personal bodyguard. He takes it down into the garage and puts it in this suitcase here. So we're just going to get in, get our pistol back, and head towards Nolan Cassidy. Janus's bodyguard is here. He starts walking around the streets looking for Janus if you hide his body, which I find quite funny. I don't think any other bodyguards really do anything like that. Once the target's gone, we just sort of forget about them. But that's a nice little touch. I appreciate that. Just going to head up to the other side of the neighbourhood now. It's really a beautiful looking map, this. I think it's so bright and colourful. It reminds me a little bit of Sapienza. That was really bright and colourful as well. I do quite like the maps like that. It's a bit different just to the bleak grey and brown and blacks that some games have. So with the house that's having the garden party, we're just going to head into the garage and pick up this car battery. For now, we're just going to get it in place. We're not going to do anything else with it for the moment, so we're just going to put it there, and we're going to go and get our final clue. It was a little bit awkward here, the placements of some of the guys, such as the exterminator, weren't really ideal, so I had to take a bit of a loop around the map. Same with this guy here. I had to hop over the fence. It's not really ideal, but we've still got enough time. Right now, Nolan Cassidy should be in his house. Gonna hop over the fence once again and into this little shed here. Just wait for Mr. Batty to leave. We don't need this clue here because we've already got the other clue. And we're going to pick up the shovel and we're going to head out into the little back area here near the stream. And we're going to dig for the final clue. The little prompt to dig for this clue is a bit of a pain. It's really hard to see. You have to get in the perfect position. But I get the cigar box, which is our final clue. Don't need the shovel anymore, so I'm just going to drop it here. Give Mr. Batty his shovel back. And now we're going to head into position, ready to kill Nolan Cassidy. Right now he's over by that house there. I don't know if you can see it properly, but that's where he currently is. So we're going to head back into the dinner party house. And I'm going to head up to the second floor. Once up here, we're going to head through this bedroom window, out onto the roof, where we're just going to wait for Nolan Cassidy. Right now we should be walking down the street. I think you can see him there through the trees. So there's Nolan Cassidy. He stands outside. If you replace the propane flask in the barbecue outside, he does go into the dinner party. But because we've not done that, he stands outside. So we're just going to line up the shot with the battery here. Just ready for when he walks on. So he starts heading off. We're going to shoot the battery. This startles him and sends him into lockdown, but we're going to quickly shoot the fire hydrant as well, which releases the water onto the car battery, and this electrocutes and kills him. This also counts as an accident kill as well, which is good. And now we've taken out both targets, we've got all 3 clues we need. It's time to escape.
All mission objectives are completed. 47, once you've left Whittleton Creek, I will notify Providence of our discovery.
In the meantime, we'll go over the clues you found. Once we've located the constant, we'll make our final...
So that's Silent Assassin, suit only, no knockouts on Master difficulty on Whittleton Creek. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time for the Isle of Scale. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.